أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
It's a never-ending gift. And I'll give you some examples to sort of contextualize some of these things. So in the Qur'an, Allah says, for example, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. Now when you translate that into the English language, it says, and Allah will not punish them while you're with them, and Allah will not punish them while they're asking for forgiveness. Then you think, well, that sounds okay. But then you've lost something of the nature of the word punish that Allah used. Because in the first part of it, Allah says, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَ. He uses a verb for punishing. Right? And in the Arabic language, you know that when you use a verb, it's connected to time. Right? That is, it's temporary. Right? This punishment that will not come is linked to your presence, Muhammad, in their presence. Right? So you understand from the word that the verb that is used that this is a temporary connotation. It has to do with time. Right? And then the next word, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ. It's a noun. وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. So Allah tied His not punishing the people to their state of asking for forgiveness to a permanent state that this is me, this is who I am, Al-Ghafur. Right? The one who is extremely forgiven. Sometimes they translate Al-Ghafur as oft forgiven. It's an abuse of that name. The word Ghafir, for example, in the Arabic language, means someone who forgives someone. So for example, if I forgive you once, I can be called a Ghafir. Or if I do it habitually, I can be called a Ghafir, that do something habitually. If you call someone Ghafur, right, you're saying that person does that action in extreme amounts. Right? In extreme amounts. And Allah didn't stop there with His name. He also called Himself Al-Ghaffar. That is an extreme of an extreme. That's an extreme action in extreme amounts. That's the name Allah gave Himself, Al-Ghaffar. And you lose that when you translate it to the oft forgiven, the most forgiven. Another example in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Mulk, Allah says, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا in describing birds, He says, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الطَّيْرِ فَوْقَهُمْ صَافَاتٍ وَيَقْبِضْنَ. Right? Do they not see the birds above them, spreading their wings and clasping it? Right? You think, yeah, that seems a good translation. But then you look at the words that are used. صَافَات is a noun. The word that Allah used to describe the spreading of the wings of birds, it's a noun. And the word that He uses to describe the clasping of the wings is a verb, which means the clasping has to be temporary. And you tell me any birds that can fly like this. Right? So the permanent state of flying, because Allah was describing flying in that verse, has to be safat, which is what Allah described that, and He uses a noun to describe that. So you lose that beauty of expression when you translate it into the English language. Another one, right? In the Qur'an, Allah speaks in Surah Al-Qadr, He says, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ الشَّهْرِ. In the Arabic language, if you translate this into English, it says, indeed we revealed it in the night of power. And what will let you know what the night of power is? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. In the Arabic language, right, the style that is used here is called tashwiq, right, where it creates a yearning for what is coming after. So, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Indeed, we revealed it in the night of power. And then it asks a question, right, which is to create yearning in the heart of the person listening to this. And this kind of yearning, if you don't understand the language, you will not really get the kind of thing that's planted in you. It says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What will let you know what this night of power is? The one who hears that in the Arabic language is already thirsty and thinking, what is it? What is it? Right? And then the verse comes, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. The night of power is better than 1,000 months. You know, and in the Arabic language, it could have said the night of power is equivalent to X. But it is better than 1,000 months, meaning there is no limit to it in reality. Right? Better than, it's not equivalent to. Right? Which is why some people say equivalent to and they give you 83 years. No, the language is khayrun min, better than.